Inside Story Uganda, real source of political updates.
And what could actually bring out a credible, free, fair, and transparent election with just a few weeks to go. Afande Bamnova, this is very critical. Just the other day, the CDF was issuing a directive on polling. You claim to be the institution in charge of an election. I just want you to take a look at what the CDF said the other day.
We appeal to citizens to cast their votes peacefully and go home, not to hang around the polling stations. And international election observers will also be present, and so will the media. So there is no need for people to hang around saying they are protecting votes. The process is transparent, and all these measures are in place.
Afan,
Yes.
are you in charge or you're playing second fiddle as police?
When you bring in the issue of the CDF making a statement, I take it to the point that there is an interagency network or cooperation, okay, between the security agencies. The police, the UPDF, the intelligence all come together under an interagency cooperation. And that interagency is chaired by the CDF. So if he made such a statement, would you say he's not right to make a statement? Because he chairs the interagency. And by the fact of him being so,
who is supposed to oversee elections? Is this the interagency or the police?
that's one. But then, the statement of the CDF does not, pardon?
Who is mandated to oversee them?
King, your question he has answered. He told you they are the leading agents.
I
And I
already
told you that
mentioned that.
he was actually laying, they also laid. And he has admitted.
But I said bringing in the
agency that they are talking about,
Bringing
just
in the
a platform
UPDF.
for coordination, but it cannot be more, cannot be superior constitutional command of police being in charge of civil policy.
Have you ceded your mandate?
we have not ceded the mandate. We are only saying, one, that the police numbers, one, cannot be sufficient. What is the international ratio of a police to the community? It is supposed to be 1 to 500. What is our scenario in Uganda? It is almost 1 to 1,200. So, would the police alone manage?
At the risk.
You are bringing in the other security agencies to augment.
But they seem to be taking lead.
That is perceived. But otherwise, the Inspector General of Police is fully in charge with his forces,
You know,
along with other
I think I have
agencies.
mentioned here
A crime-free
when
election.
you run mad, you don't need to go to a market square and declare that you have run mad. But people will see how you are conducting yourself, and they will say you are mad.
So should we see
police
the other
does-
agencies out of
Police
this?
does not need to
No.
come here and declare that they are
No.
in charge.
No, I am
we
saying-
can tell from how they are how the exercise is going on that they are not in charge. The same can be said of the electoral commission.
No,
Simon,
what does it mean when you
Can I
say
benefit
that the
from-
institution that is paid and mandated to play its role is just a facade of a
But
deeper
Simon,
thing?
can I benefit? Because his presence, it's not only people who are watching the show, even us can benefit.
True.
That statement that go home, is that a decision processed through the interagency? Is that a decision that you also subscribe to? You want to understand that, and then me, I'll leave that point.
Well, Honorable, the intelligence level, I'm represented by the IGP, so I can't tell now, unless I find out from him, whether the position of the CDF was discussed in the interagency.
What is the
So really-
position of police on the constitutional prescription that voters may stay 20 meters away from the polling station?
When the law is stated and the party is supposed to comply, that's right. But then there are other provisions. The law operates along with the police procedures.
No.
So, where there is the law, you cannot ignore the police standing orders and the procedures and the processes.
So is there an overlap between police procedures and the law?
No, the two are intertwined and they are working together.
In this case, the law says stay 20 meters away. And security says go home. Where is go home in the Constitution?
If we intend to think, okay, if we think that your stay is likely to cause commotion, especially basing on the pronouncements that are being made, if a presidential candidate is talking of protest vote, and you are telling people that after voting, please stay, Mukuma Karuru, then
Isn't that what the law says?
you are already insinuating something to say security to open the eyes and say, okay, something
but the law
is about to happen.
The law envisages that a voter should keep around after casting his ballot. I think if he or she wishes, people are just being...
So why are you insisting? If there is if he or she wishes, but this time they are saying, please, Musigari Mukuma Karuru.
And you know what happened?
Okay.
Last time.
And of course, if they were to stay peaceful beyond the prescribed meters, I would imagine there would be no problem.
People will stay
But you're
peaceful.
ordering them even
No,
before
you know the problem why the whole thing has come out.
But do you think what we are saying is what is going to happen there? Or is what normally happens?
And in 2021, we voted. Elections were counted. Results were announced. NUP says we won and we are cheated. Yes, our vote, our victory was stolen. Later, President Museveni came and said, no.
By
they
the way,
also stole my 1 million.
Let me
And
quote history.
that's why people are saying.
In the,
that
previous elections, we've seen voters being threatened. Yes, being threatened and failing to vote. These complaints are come to police. Or we have visibly seen them, and now we are saying, okay.
Have you also received reports of police and other security agencies arresting our agents from the polling station?
Well, I shouldn't say that may not have happened, but when it happens, as an institution, that is addressed.
Council Benjamin, we launched a campaign, I Choose Peace, and it's been dissed by many of the NUP stalwarts. What are you choosing for this election?
Well, I think the starting point is that if you want me to directly address the concern, and this is not a party position, but a personal position on the campaign. History has taught us that the security agencies in Uganda, in every election cycle, and I have mentioned that this is well documented even in holdings of the Supreme Court, they use violence against the people of Uganda. But for that violence to be sanitized, they must manipulate some sections of the society to believe that there are people who are planning war. There are people who are planning to disrupt peace, and therefore justify the excessive force and violence that they use against the supporters of the opposition. And it's on the basis of that background that the campaign you are running that is talking about peace without talking about the threat to peace, which is injustice, which is unfairness and malpractice in the electoral cycle. Because all the problems of Uganda that are related to elections have always come from rigged elections. But running a campaign of I Choose Peace without addressing the threats to peace clearly points to an attempt to manipulate
the
population.
What has
if you could allow me first to finish my point, to manipulate the population into rationalizing the violence that the security forces are carrying out against the population. For Uganda to have peace and sustainable peace, we must first of all aspire to build a society of fairness and justice. In many cases, and you have given an example of the elections of 1980, the justification for people picking up arms and going to the bush was the rigged election, was unfairness, was injustice. Now you can, and that history, you know that resistance and injustice and resistance are like day and night. They follow each other. For as long as there is injustice, even if you brag about might, people will resist to that injustice.
Okay.
And therefore, we believe that for anybody to drive a campaign of peace, it must be run alongside that of fairness, that of justice, and
I thought these are ingredients of peace. If you're calling for
not presumptuous, you don't presume.
Moses, under the circumstances where nerves are growing and it looks as if there is a lot of tension flaring all over the place, what would be the quick solution?
I don't think so.
You don't? Maybe you're sitting in a very comfortable position.
No. You see, we're going to have a peaceful election. There's no doubt about it.
People are already dying.
We are going to have a peaceful election.
What is a peaceful election?
The one we're going to have. Now, you see, if, as I said earlier, if we all behave well, security forces come in when the politicians misbehave. That's the fact. I've given you an example. Kagurani has held over 100 rallies since the campaign started. We have had incidents about maybe 10 or so. Why? Now, and if you examine, in fact, what you hear, what the police needs come out to be showing what happened. Because see, we have been treated to videos. Because now with social media, I take a video of what I want to show out, but I don't show the whole story. I was talking to some people around Kaleru. I think it was yesterday when Chagulanyi was coming from Rubaga, and around Kaleru, people started stoning the police. Now, okay, they may not have been inspired or told by their leaders, or if they support them, that told the police. But now, that kind of behavior is not good for electoral process. So if Ugandans behave well,
yeah, but
I don't
we are in a situation where security is highly charged and very suspicious of anything.
I think as we are in the studio here, police will come and round us off and start tear gassing us because we are peaceful. So there must be a cause. So we tend to look at the action of trying to prevent or to preserve peace, but we don't see the root cause. If we behave ourselves as politicians, we are going to have a peaceful election. I'm so happy that NRM is going to win this election, as I've been telling you before. If you look, for instance, at parliamentary elections where my community is campaigning, there are 499 seats. If you get the women seats, and those of the elected members, there are 499. NRM has the candidates in all of them. Some of them are even unopposed. The one which is next to us, Noop, it has only candidates in 59% of the electoral areas. The 41%, they have left them to us to win, really. Most of the competition is there between NRM and independent. So we're going to win all those 41%. Now, even in the 51% where they are also competing with us and others like Semuju, we shall also win a majority of those. So we're going to win the parliament, we're going to win the presidency, we're going to win the local government. Look at like Chairperson LOC 5. The 146 of them, the seat. The one next to us, the NRM has the candidates in all of them. The one next to us is NUP with only 49 candidates in 146 districts. So we're going to win those ones. The majority will be ours. If you go to local government, it's lower at the local councillors, at LC3.
Well, we are going into an election. It's too early to tell.
But if you have no candidates, you can't win. You can't say, if you have no candidates, wait. No, if you have only 49 candidates in 146 districts, you can't expect to win. You can only win.
Can you imagine your principle still out about the rigging that happened?
Wait. Even though you won the 49, where Noop had, the others are 99. The districts you are not there, so you can't say I've won all of them.
Yeah, but it's too early to tell whether you
I don't need to. I don't wait. I'm a political analyst, and you won.
Your president, your chairman, is still reeling from the past experience where he says his vote in Kampala was rigged.
But this time, the Electoral Commission, at least we discussed that yesterday. They called us at the agents of the candidates at the EC. There was the press there. The measures they have taken to avoid such incidents. of using the biometric machines. We're going to have a very good, in fact, most of their fears, the way they took us through how it's going to work and how, what the do's and don'ts, it's going to stop multiple voting, it's going to stop ghost voting, it's going to stop, if anybody imports a ballot in the paper in the process, because it has to be screened by the machine, so that this ballot was allocated to this polling station. So most of the fears of protecting the system is already protecting.
So you buy into the narrative that NUP story of votes in Kampala.
I'm telling you that the way the election process is set now, you cannot steal an election.
Did the national inter-platform steal elections in 2020?
We got that intelligence. We got intelligence to that effect that they stole. But now
we wrote to them challenging them to an audit. They have never responded.
Wait. So now the way the system is using the biometric machine, because when you come, it identifies you by the thumbprint or by the face. So nobody can come and say, Moses, you are wrong or you are not. Because it will be wrong as particular as which I was nearer.
As like religious leaders now to start drumming messages of peace in the midst of these nervous moments.
That would be very good.
And what does your silence mean?
No, you know, the religious leaders, if you want to say, and cultural leaders, whoever they have talked about peace. And they are talking about peace. And the religion itself is supposed to be peace. Okay? At least the one I believe in. But the unfortunate part is, whom are you telling it to? You see, when they have come out, for example, to challenge what we call police brutality to the population, even when there is no cause for alarm. You see, have they responded? You see, there's a saying across the globe that the old bird is the one that teaches the young one. Okay? Those who have authority and power, those who are supposed to maintain peace, if they themselves have failed to be peaceful, why do you anticipate that we will see peace? Actually, peace will only be there just because people are in fear. Those who are not in fear, who are determined, may also use the opportunity. You see, we have been here urging about people coming. I have never seen people come, vote, and stay there. And even this time, they cannot. They will come, vote, rush to go and look for food. And you think they will be there? People always come back to witness the what?
County.
The county. Two, it is high time now to challenge the Electoral Commission that they should stop demanding for candidates' agents, because they are employed and we pay them to do their job. Like we employ UNEB. It gives exams, it supervises them, it marks them, and then gives the results. Now, why do you say that after, because I have stood, I have even paid money in order for me to stand, okay? Then you want me to supervise my own what? Myself. Until we reach that stage, we shall still have all the confusion you are talking about. Naturally, when two opposing people meet and in a position and they are charged, because you know, our elections now, when you look at them, it is no longer competition. You know, we have 4 fundamental social processes: competition, cooperation, conflict, and interaction. we presume during the election process, we should be cooperating, we should be interacting, we should be competing. And unfortunately, we have chosen conflict. And you know, in conflict, we struggle to win. In competition, sorry, in order for us to win, we must eliminate. Okay, in conflict. But in competition, we struggle to win and then say, you have beaten me this time, I am waiting for next season. Like in football, you see. But in our case, we have chosen, I think largely, we are putting ourselves on the line, on the wire to say that we are conflicting. And
Can
therefore,
clerics speak out to cause sanity?
to who?
To the population.
To who? No, they are not keeping quiet.
The prophets
they are speaking. They are speaking, but you are not listening. And two, even sometimes when some of them have spoken, you know what has happened. They have also been called to order. You see, so that's why, for example, you know, like Babnova here.
Are we saying the detention of the priest has to do with politics?
No, but they're also scared.
Let me complete my point. You see, when you asked the police officer that who is in charge, he said he doesn't know because at that level,
Imam, is that what I said? No,
yes,
no.
You said
that.
No, he said there is interagency.
And interagency, but the interagency comes, but in that process, the police is the one who is supposed to be in charge. But in this case, we have Imam Kasozi inviting Biaruhanga as a guest in his home. Biaruhanga becomes more powerful than Imam Kasozi, and he takes in charge.
Indeed,
this is exactly what is happening.
Be more powerful.
Right,
Invited the
yeah,
mayor to be more powerful.
you say. And secondly, when all the confusion that comes, I want to say it is lopsided. It isn't. It isn't. I think what NOPO became a bit smarter than the security forces, and I think, and now they played in its trick. And the trick is working for NOPO. Sometimes somebody asked me a question that why, for example, there was a lot of scuffle in Acholi sub-region. Do you know the reason? The police who are supporting NOPO, they wanted to prove Mao wrong, who said that the elections were going to be peaceful. And then they said, let us show you in your home.
The police who are supporting?
Yes. Who are supporting NOPO.
So they wanted to
prove
play in his backyard?
Yes, to know that what he was saying was wrong.
I think that's a conspiracy.
You can call it conspiracy, but it has. Why is it that such a situation did not happen in other places at that level? Therefore, I am calling upon Ugandans, not only religious leaders, the police, the army, the candidates, the religious leaders, the people themselves, to be peaceful. If we choose peace, it will be there. But if we choose what I'm seeing, it cannot be there. When Katana is complaining that, you know, I have a rally in Ntinda, and I am here, okay? In Bukoto, maybe, I am in Bukoto going to Ntinda. But then you tell me that in order for me to go to, I have to go through, I go through the other Bukoto side, go to Chanja, but come through Chalwajara, and then come to me. It cannot be possible.
No, Kasozi.
Yes.
The police has been saying that they agree with the local organizing committee of NOPO on the venue and the route. And when the team comes with the candidate, they change it without informing them. I would want in this situation, and I asked them in one of the meetings, let Katana stay in this particular area.
Do you know the problem?
Wait. We had agreed with the police and the security committee of the district that the venue will be at such a place, and we shall lose this route. And then the police changed it.
No.
I want to bring in, gentlemen, I want to bring in Honorable Semuju here. Imam, thank you. I want to bring in Honorable Semuju. The times seem to be getting more delicate. What is the best way to navigate the current storm where security on one hand is hell-bent on being high-handed in pursuit of the guidelines, while the National Inter-Platform is also very determined to go all the way in defying the orders?
You see, first let me, allow me a second. I have participated so far in 3 elections. This is the first where you are discussing routes on the national TV. We have never. Candidates have been choosing their own routes. Now Moses says that there is a committee of police that must choose how people move. I said we've been degenerating. And my prediction is that if Museveni survives this election, the next election you will have a Rwanda or Tanzania-like election. Because things have changed. I was in charge of nomination of Dr. Besigye. It took us 3 hours to move from Nambole to Chivubo. Today you can no longer have a presidential campaign in the city. Even on the road, they must tell you how many minutes. People who are gathering must be tear gassed and beaten. We are on our way. Tanzania wasn't like the way they are now. They even have to postpone festivities to remember the day they got independent. I think Rwasa, the last campaign of Magufuli, he got 4 million and Magufuli got 6 against 4. In this election of Suluhu, the opposition is not there. And I've seen Moses here celebrating. NRM has won everything. In the last election of Hosni Mubarak, the main opposition party had 1 MP. But they won the subsequent election when he's overthrown. When you suppress people, you can take comfort that they have disappeared. They never disappear. You can actually, NRM can win all seats, you can win all, and you can celebrate. But anyone sensible will see that there's a problem. Because you see, so the question now back to the question that you have asked. Yeah.
In election, with just a few weeks.
You can only have sanity if those who are holding government, who are in government, are organizing an election and accept that you can organize an election and rules. In Ghana, J. Rawlings was behaving like Museveni, or even worse. He supported his vice president. They lost an election. That's when they started calling in the military to help. But the military said, no, it is over, you have to go. These ones, because they think they're intelligent, they are wiser, they must campaign, use state resources to collect people from as far as 60 kilometers, and then they don't want to allow anyone else to compete fairly with them. Because you see, what is troubling them is Ugandans gathering. It's not gathering on the polling days, any gathering. You tear gassing people as Kyagulanyi is moving. You're not doing so because...
I don't know how many times have we seen tear gas being used. Let's also
almost, it is now almost daily.
No.
It is almost daily.
We have instances where Honorable Kyagulanyi has moved successfully through and without any hassle.
Those ones we celebrate. Those ones we celebrate.
You want to say the other incidents where you've used tear gas are insignificant?
No, in the instance where I've used it, there has been a cause. No, but why he has moved?
Why over deploy where? Why over deploy where Snoop is going to campaign?
Why? I should say yes. In some instances,
you've been high-handed.
It has been there. Yes, we've seen it.
Why over deploy where they are going to campaign? Why?
Okay, fine. Please continue, Honorable.
You see, the trouble is that stopping people from gathering, they are so afraid. They don't want to see people gathering. Whether they are gathering to see Kyagulanyi, it is a problem. So it is terrorism. So you must be beaten, you must be tear gassed.
In your campaigns in Kira, and people gathering?
The size of a parliamentary campaign is not the same as the size of a presidential campaign. I am telling you, this is obvious. You need to be wasting time.
No.
So it's like comparing an MP to a councillor. A presidential campaign you cannot compare a presidential campaign to a parliamentary campaign.
You are saying people are just gathering.
So these numbers are not frightening them. So they are frightened because they see numbers.
And also, whom are you a threat to in
Exactly.
that particular constituency?
So the trouble is that they must not allow Ugandans to gather. And that's why they had stopped rallying.
That's not true.
Yeah, but why are you trading?
That's why you cannot go to the square.
Can't you give at least some silver lining about this election?
You see, we are just repeating ourselves. In all election, they will start the way they have started. They must create an excuse. Just go back, you can actually broadcast the run up to all the last election. What will follow now? You will see columns of military and police 1 week to election. They will be moving around Kampala metropolitan, claiming that there is terrorism. I sympathize with you, because you also have children and families that live in Uganda, and they see you on TV lying. I don't know what you tell them when you return home.
Whenever I always say Ugandans like you, and we want this for Uganda.
Exactly.
So
in every election,
what we don't do to destabilize, but create peace for all of us.
In every election, you have created excuses for you to intimidate the population by heavily deploying the military. The military will begin moving, armed to the teeth. I think they will even collect them, including those they have deployed in Guinea-Bissau. Everybody will return to Uganda as if this is a war. Because they are fearing the population. They can't allow that population to express itself. That's the fear.
So now, would you want to see this city banned, then we begin bringing in security?
Banned,
it's possible.
Banned by who?
What happened?
What happened with the Kenyans? Fear to justify violence.
What happened? To the extent of reaching parliament, to the extent of blocking the airport.
Who was blocking the airport?
I'm quoting the Kenya instance.
Yeah, but I have gone to airport twice to bring.
So do we allow this to happen in Uganda?
We've not banned it.
Should we have? You know, if we give room, it can happen.
So is that?
Would you want to be disrupted if you had such a?
Is that the reason you are driving members and armored vehicles in 2 polling stations in Kawempe? Was that the reason?
As I said before at the start, as security,
anyway,
would want to give you enough, and it's for your own good.
Let me make my point.
Enough security is for your own good.
Let me make my point, and I can't blame him. I have told you they are also victims. Because we speak to these policemen, they are also victims. They have Mr. Museveni and his family who have captured the country. And that's why when it comes to a statement made by Mohoz, he says, there I am not represented at your level. And you don't know what is being discussed in the interagency, and then they deploy you to come here on TV. Then why did you come?
But because he can't,
this one he fears.
And when you want to ask me,
he cannot contradict.
Then give me room to
I can tell you, you cannot contradict Muhoz. You cannot. You can pretend about it, but you cannot. You will find the maneuvers here.
Why do I give it?
Welcome back. It's the frontliners. We ran the last lap. Still looking at what could actually give a credible, free, and fair election come Jan 15th, 2026. Afande Bamnova, can anything tame the high-handedness of your men and women in uniform?
Actually, in all this, the question would be, how can we have a credible election without violence, without harassment? Probably that will be the question. And the answer is very simple. Can all the actors play their roles as it is supposed to be? Okay? You are the candidate contesting, you have your schedule, you have your venue where you're supposed to be there. You have the timings are set by Electoral Commission, by 6 you are off. And we are saying also security, keep within your limits, keep within the bounds of the law, play your role as it is supposed to be, and we shall not have any chaos.
But how jittery can you be to the extent of hurling a tear gas canister at a presidential candidate?
Certainly, if that is done, I would condemn it. It's bad. Unless it is a situation that has gone out of hand, as Ndugu Byaranga was saying, that the public is up in arms, they have blocked the road. Ndugu here. Honorable, Ndugu is basically colleague. And equally all of us we are.
And your colleague.
Equally all of us we are.
You're a big person. You're a big person.
We are saying
Only Byaranga is your colleague.
the method used is determined by the situation on the ground. Okay? But I don't think security treasures in harassment, in hiring tear gas, unless it is called for. So I'm calling for all parties in all this to work together and bring about this conducive environment where the voters have the freedom to exercise their right, come and listen to the candidate and go and make a decision. Whereby the Electoral Commission has gone out, sensitized the public of their roles and responsibilities on the do's and the don'ts, and they adhered to. Where the media house like this broadcasts the messages and says this is ABC, or in the electioneering period, this is what is supposed to be done, this is what is not supposed to be done. Where there is balanced reporting of the media. We've seen security officers being beaten. It is never highlighted. But you'll see a reaction of an officer defending himself. Can we see that? How it begins?
When an oppressor is beaten, of course people will celebrate. So you go beating
So you admit that policemen are always beaten?
They can be beaten. I mean, you go harassing people. There is a natural response to harassment.
And we cannot say they should respond in that high-handedness.
History has
but they
told
should
us
be exercising restraint
that the
in all
retreating soldiers
circumstances.
of Amin here and Obote, they were attacked by civilians when they had lost power. Why? Because they had become enemies of the people.
Yes.
When they become enemies of the people, they become
That's
your
what
enemy.
happens.
Council Katana, can you tone down on your messages of defiance, on your messages of we shall stay there against all odds, we shall overwhelm you?
I don't know what you classify as messages of defiance. The problem is that you may be falling for the narrative of our friends here. There is no defiance. What is pertaining is that we are asking the people of Uganda that your rights are prescribed not by a policeman, not by a soldier, but by the Constitution. And we are asking Ugandans that they should be able to challenge whoever, because the history of mankind is a history of pushing back against repression, against injustice. If you allow people who at that particular moment think they have power, you know, power is an illusion. Even people who think they have power many times don't have it. If you allow people who think they have power at that particular point to do whatever they please against the law, against your freedoms, against your rights, you don't know how far they will go. The next day they will say, all of you don't come to town in shoes, and it will become law. Yet there are laws that govern the country.
Isn't your submission feeding into the fears of security that this could not be just a mere voting process?
No, not at all.
That you're up to something.
And I think I would like to, that impression is inaccurate and misrepresenting. The violation of human rights, the harassment of the opposition that you see in Uganda is not a reaction to anything. It is not accidental. That's why you have not seen any police officer that is involved in these excesses or army officer that is involved in these excesses being arraigned in court, because it is sanctioned. It is part of the grand strategy. Because Museveni is hold on to power, and you see, for them it is maintaining power by whatever means, whether it breaks the law.
Those officers are handled through the internal
It's handled
processes.
by
We have
two
the
things.
internal processes.
It's handled by two things. One is legitimacy. That's why you go around distributing money, buying candidates out of the race. At Moses can here and make an argument, can come and make an argument that the opposition has no candidate.
But if your people who are,
But number two,
who are buyable, then you are
yeah, because you have kept the country in poverty. But number
You
two,
also have poor people.
fear. What helps him to keep power is fear of the population. Because he fears the population. He knows the population is angry with him. He fears it. So he must make sure that they live in fear of being killed. That's why he's talking about each soldier having how many bullets. And that fear must be reinforced through deliberate harassment of the opposition, through deliberate use of excessive force. intimidation and harassment of opposition leaders, so that the supporters get the memo that if we can treat your leaders this way, then for you it can get worse. So it is a deliberate strategy.
Moses, we are back to the scenario. There was once one of the big shots in NRM who said, your children will be killed. Now we are getting signals. Each officer has 120 bullets. What are you communicating?
No. I say that one. We don't ask the same question 10 times. We have to get the same answer.
No.
I told you the president was responding to the incitement of the public by Kyagulanyi.
Yeah, but that's fear-mongering as well, isn't it?
He said we can overcome. So how many times are we to ask the same question?
No, you are fear-mongering.
It is not fear-mongering.
It is important.
No, you are fear-mongering.
Fearing who?
By telling people we have 120 bullets.
Fearing who? Tell me anywhere in the world where you go and say we shall overcome the security forces. In any country, throw a stone at a police officer and see what happens to you. So the president was saying, please don't go into that campaign of saying we can overrun the police, the security forces. So we have asked that question, I've given you an answer. Okay. We don't fear anybody.
With all you said there are no tensions.
Yeah, there are no tensions as far as
there are
no tensions. President Museveni is going to win this vote very calmly and very well, with a very high percentage than ever before. And I can assure you on that. Because we have done all the calculations, we're going to win very well. So the ones who are disturbing us are the ones causing these disruptions.
We are going to get more than Samia Suluhu.
We are going to get more than we got last time. That's the fact. Because we have done no win the president. And it's very clear we're going to win parliament. Somebody knows it. You should know it. And then unless you're not analytical
But we are competing.
You how many candidates do you have?
How many do you need to win?
Well, at least 51%. I must have at least 251. I must have something like that, and I'm going to get to them. Trying to get to them. So, in an unlikely event that they win, there will be opposition in parliament. Can you imagine you are a president, but in parliament you are in opposition? Then the NRM is in charge of parliament. It has the speaker, the deputy speaker, and everything.
Have you seen that?
That is common.
Worldwide,
it is common.
Sometimes it happens in America where you have the president at White House and it doesn't have a majority, but for them the parliament is 2 years. So they have midterm elections. Normally that corrects the situation. So but here it doesn't.
You have admitted that it happens.
No. But if you're going in Uganda, it will be a problem. By the way, that you have a president there in the parliament, he has the opposition, and because the parliament will be the one in charge. NRM will be the one in charge.
So what do you see in the coming days?
NRM, you bring a law, they reject it in parliament. NRM parliament majority rejects it. You take it back. They bring it back, they reject it, and the constitution provides that if you bring it a second time and the parliament adopts it, or at the opposition, it becomes law. So in such a situation, NRM will be the one in charge.
So in the coming days, what do you envisage as we run to elections?
No, we're going to have a peaceful election. As Bayromsa said, we need just to be, all actors must just follow the guidelines as given. See, some years I was raising the issue of, you see, like in America, for instance, their campaigns are town hall, just in a closed area. They don't just go on the street covering the entire road just because we are campaigning. Just need to be peaceful. We don't have to, so that...
but they also don't have military people making proclamations.
No. If like a place like America, for instance, because you're not allowed to go and have a demonstration in the road and stop other road users from using it without the guidance of the police. You can't. But here, that's why you think it's okay. I'll give you an example. I said when Kyagulanyi was going to Jinja to launch their manifesto, they covered off the whole road from Gayaza up to Kayunga.
But when
and police was saying...
Museveni will close the road for 3 hours.
And the police was saying, this is not good. Follow traffic rules. They had accidents in their own convoy.
But even accidents are not
in their own convoy. In their own convoy, without following traffic rules, they had 5 people lose their legs. That's what you want.
Imam Kasozi.
Yes.
The stakes are rising. What is your projection of what is going to happen in the coming days?
You
As
see,
we cross from mobile now. Yes.
Yes.